RiskPro is one of the global providers of training programs on the topic of anti-money laundering. Creating AML awareness is a part of our mission. We offer global AML certifications and try to create awareness about the informal value transfer system. Here is a story about one such method. Before we start the story, please hit the bell icon and subscribe to our channel. We would come up with many such informative stories. Let's begin the story now. Once upon a time, in ancient China during the Tang Dynasty, tax collectors devised a system called Fei Qian, which means flying money. This system allowed merchants to avoid having their tax money compromised during their thievery-exposed journey. Little did they know that this system would become an underground banking network in modern times. The Chinese underground banking system has been in existence for many centuries, predating the formal banking system. Although the world first became aware of it in 1983 when it was discovered that the system was used in heroin-related transactions within Asia, it was soon revealed that it had been around for many years. The system is primarily used for commercial activities involving the transfer of money across national borders through a non-bank institution or organization. However, there may not always be commercial activity underlying the transaction. The underlying asset may not always be money but could include commodities. The transaction may be international or domestic, and it may be conducted by institutions or individuals. The detailed modus operandi of the Cubs has been refined over the years to make it almost impossible to uncover. The required amount is paid to a local bank account controlled by a Chinese informal value transfer system (IVTS) provider who arranges for the reciprocal payment to be deposited into the UK bank account specified by the remitter. To avoid suspicion in the deposit, several tactics are deployed. Often, the amounts are smurfed, or broken down into smaller portions and deposited at different branches or into numerous accounts with multiple banks. Alternatively, the payment is received from one or more bank accounts of Chinese citizens into which money had previously been smurfed. The first crucial prerequisite for a seamless transfer process is the IVTS provider's access to multiple bank accounts. In the UK, these MUL accounts typically belong to Chinese students enrolled at UK institutions. These students are specially recruited for this purpose, under the guise that their accounts are being used for money transmission services for other students or unbanked Chinese citizens working in the UK. The second prerequisite is the UK IVTS provider's maintenance of unusually large liquidity to immediately settle inward remittances. This need for large sums of money is perfectly countered by the need of UK crime groups, drug traffickers, cigarette smugglers, organized crime groups, and human traffickers, to dispose illegally of generated cash while recovering that value elsewhere. Such synergy fuels the abuse of the Cubs by money laundering groups. Ironically, the original purpose of Fei Qian was to ensure that tax money owed by merchants was not compromised during their thievery-exposed journey. However, the modern-day system is predominantly used to evade tax and other regulations imposed by the Communist state of China. Nonetheless, Fei Qian continues to be the Chinese method of sealing any possible leak of earnings, regardless of whether the leak is caused by lawful or unlawful forces of society. In the 21st century marketplace, the Cubs has become a survival tactic that secures its relevance. With the increased globalization of the world, the overseas Chinese labor force needs to remit their earnings in a fast, cheap, and efficient manner. The Fei Qian system allows these laborers to anonymously remit money through its highly accessible, rapid, and versatile system that is resilient to economic, political, and social change, thereby ensuring no leak of their little remittances to fluctuating exchange rates. On the other end of its spectrum of users are those acquiring huge wealth through sometimes unlawful means and those looking to evade tax or bypass China's strict policies on cash outflows. The apparent concern with the use of the Cubs in highly sensitive matters is that incorporating the element of illegality translates to the lack of legal recourse in the event of a dispute. But, trust, or rather, guanxi, the social system of rules governing relationships and social behavior, forms the very cornerstone of the Cubs. The network's success lies in the understanding that every member is only as good as their reputation, and it is not just the transfer of money but also the transfer of social capital that is involved in each transaction. The future of the Cubs is uncertain, with increasing regulations and crackdowns from authorities. However, it is unlikely to disappear entirely, given its deep roots in Chinese society and the demand for fast, cheap, and efficient cross-border money transfers. The story of the Cubs is a testament to the adaptability and resilience of underground banking systems. It serves as a reminder that in the ever-evolving landscape of finance and commerce, there will always be those seeking alternative ways to transfer money and evade regulations, and the challenge for regulators will be to keep up and stay one step ahead. So friends, this was the story of the Chinese underground banking system. If you liked it, then feel free to comment, like and subscribe.